Ebo Noah is a self-proclaimed prophet from Ghana who rose to public attention after building a massive wooden structure he described as a modern-day ark. After completing the project, he began proclaiming that the world would come to an end on December 25, 2025, through a catastrophic flood similar to the one described in the biblical story of Noah. His message spread quickly, and out of fear, thousands of people reportedly believed his warning. Many of them were seen gathering around and entering the ark, hoping to save their lives from what they believed would be certain death by drowning. However, when December 25, 2025 arrived and the predicted flood did not happen, Ebo Noah allegedly instructed his followers to return to their homes. He later explained that the event had been postponed, claiming this change followed a period of fasting and prayer. In the aftermath, Ghanaian authorities reportedly arrested Ebo Noah for spreading information that caused widespread fear and public panic. As criticism intensified and legal pressure mounted, he attempted to tone down his earlier claims, stating that what he shared was a spiritual revelation rather than a definite prophecy. This sequence of events led many to question who Ebo Noah truly is and how his message managed to convince so many people, marking the beginning of his controversial story. Ebo Noah, formerly known as Ebo Jesus, is a self-proclaimed Ghanaian prophet who rose to national and international attention in late 2025 after publicly declaring that the world would end through a global flood on December 25, 2025. His dramatic claims, coupled with the construction of large wooden, modern-day arks, placed him at the center of intense public debate, religious criticism, and legal scrutiny in Ghana. Born in Ghana, Ebo Noah first became known online as a young social media personality. Before adopting his prophetic identity, he was widely recognized as a comedian and digital content creator who went by the name Escobar. During this period, he was often described as a high school student, and his online presence revolved around humor, skits, and youth-oriented content shared primarily on platforms such as TikTok. His growing online following earned him the label of a social media sensation long before his transition into religious messaging. Details about his early family life remain largely private. Public records and media reports do not disclose the identities of his parents or siblings, nor do they provide a confirmed date of birth. What is generally known is that he is a young man, based on his former student status and the timeline of his online activities. As his public identity became increasingly tied to religion and prophecy, he shared little about his upbringing, choosing instead to focus attention on what he described as his divine calling. Ebo Noah's transformation from entertainer to prophet unfolded between late 2024 and early 2025. During this period, he abandoned his comedic persona and rebranded himself as a man chosen by God to deliver urgent revelations to humanity. He claims to have received divine instructions warning of an impending global flood that would last several years and wipe out most life on Earth. According to him, salvation would only be available to those who entered into a covenant with God through his ministry. Central to this mission was the construction of what he called modern-day arks. Over approximately 11 months, he documented himself cutting timber and assembling massive wooden vessels, asserting that the work was guided directly by divine instruction rather than formal training. Reports about the number of arks varied, ranging from 2 to as many as 10, with at least one said to be capable of holding up to 5,000 people. The main construction site was located in Akropong, Ghana, where followers frequently gathered to witness the project. Although Ebo Noah had no publicly known formal education in engineering, construction, or theology, his videos showed him actively involved in hands-on building work. This led observers to conclude that he had developed some level of self-taught practical skills, particularly in woodworking and basic construction. He maintained that these abilities were not learned through institutions, but were imparted to him spiritually. As his influence grew, so did public curiosity and concern regarding his finances. His exact net worth has never been disclosed, and no official financial records are available. However, it became widely reported that the Ark project relied heavily on donations and fundraising, including monetary contributions and materials such as timber, zinc, and cement. Some reports allege that followers sold personal assets, such as land, vehicles, and homes, to support the project or secure space on the arks. Additional unverified claims suggested that fees were charged for seats on the vessels. Ebo Noah consistently denied instructing anyone to sell their property or exploit followers financially. In his personal life, Ebo Noah is reportedly married. In December 2025, he appeared publicly with a woman identified as his wife, whom he described affectionately and presented as a supportive partner in his spiritual mission. Their appearances together, including videos shared online shortly before the predicted flood date, attracted widespread attention and commentary. He has also acknowledged that his religious path has strained relationships with some members of his family, though he has not elaborated on these tensions. By late 2025, Ebo Noah had become one of Ghana's most controversial figures. His prophecy of a world-ending flood sparked fear, panic, and widespread debate. Religious leaders criticized his message, pointing out contradictions with biblical scripture, particularly the covenant in Genesis 9:11, in which God promises never again to destroy the earth by flood. Animal welfare advocates also raised concerns after he claimed he had been instructed to gather pairs of animals for the ark. The controversy culminated in early December 2025, when he was reportedly arrested by Ghanaian authorities for spreading information that caused public fear and panic. Following public backlash and legal pressure, he attempted to soften his stance, describing his message as a revelation rather than a fixed prophecy. On December 25, 2025, when the predicted flood did not occur, he reportedly told followers to return to their homes and later stated that the event had been postponed after a period of fasting and prayer. Despite the collapse of his central prophecy, Ebo Noah's story remains a striking example of how social media influence, religious symbolism, and public belief can intersect. His journey from teenage online comedian to self-proclaimed prophet and ark builder has left a lasting mark on Ghana's digital, religious, and social landscape, continuing to provoke discussion about faith, accountability, and the power of online platforms in shaping modern belief systems.